A very, very good evening, wherever you might be in the cricket-loving world, from La Paz to Montevideo to Manila to downtown Hong Kong, wherever the world of cricket finds you tonight via the interweb. Welcome to Two Full Tossers, proudly presented tonight for the very first time by the new cricket sensation, the tournament that has caught the imagination of the world, thanks to myself and my fellow host, Alan Committie. It is the 1,000 that we launched last week that is blowing the 100 out of the water. And Alan Committie, as I say good evening, as I say, gosh, that is a lovely beard, and as I ask you how you are, I have to say we have been inundated. And by inundated, I mean I can count on more than one hand the amount of correspondence we have had from people around the world saying, Dan, Alan, we've always known that you two are visionaries. We've always known that you see generations ahead. You have 2020 vision going forward, and you have seen the future. You know it is the 1,000. And let's look, some of the most exciting cricketers of our generation, Alan Committie. We've had Butta Dippenaar on the phone. We've had Nick Compton on the phone. Kepler Wessel sent us a fax. The future, Alan Committie, is not the 100. It is the 1,000.
The 1,000 indeed. Good evening to you, Dan Nicholl. And that introduction is only half the length of the 1,000. Just to give you a sense of how long the game will be. 1,000 deliveries per side. It's an extraordinary concept. Can only have been dreamed up by these two brilliant minds. And I say brilliant mind, even though you couldn't remember my name at the beginning of the show. That was slightly strange. I know it's been a week, but I've missed you too. I suspect what's happened is you've been up till 3 or 4 a.m. every morning, delighting in our Olympians, our South African Olympians. What a tremendous week it's been, with highs and lows. But I'm so excited. I'm putting the Tatiana back in my breaststroke. And it's just a joy and a pleasure.
Look, I admit I'm a little frazzled, partly because of the excitement about the 1,000, which is almost half the length of a Rassie Erasmus video, and so very appealing for its brevity and its excitement. Yes. But yes. Again, I have been up watching the Olympics, and we ranted about it, we raved about it in a non-raving way last week. But again, it has been another week, a week since we spoke, Alan Committie, a week in which not only is there no cricket at the Olympics, right, there has not been a word, not a statement from the IOC of apology, of saying we made a mistake. We are not producing a show that is showcasing the best of world sport. We've had another week, Alan Committie, where cricket and the Olympics, the chasm, it's basically the space between Inzamam Huq's bat and the crease as he attempts a quick single, having run one to deep backward square leg.
You make a fine point, and the only thing I can put it down to, as I've blamed everything over the last couple of weeks, is Australia. Rugby Australia are obviously at the root of this, and probably Cricket Australia. All of Australia have caused this deep quagmire of disappointment. But because I have back route communication with Rassie Erasmus, I'm able to announce on this Monday evening at 9:03 that he will be making a 86-minute video on the exclusion of cricket at the Olympic Games. And once he's put his case forward, I think we know what will happen very shortly thereafter. Faf de Klerk will be at the opening ceremony, and all things will be as they should be. I say Faf de Klerk, I mean Faf du Plessis. Both are interchangeable according to certain British journalists. So that's just fantastic.
Indeed. If you are the rugby writer from the Times on your third bottle of inexpensive Chardonnay, we trust you're having a good evening. All right, so no cricket at the Olympics, which is it's devastating. In fact, we were going to start, because we've got a very special guest tonight on the show. We're going to open up right with him immediately, and he was actually, we mentioned the Olympics, he broke down in tears. He is so upset about this. We're going to bring him onto the show very shortly. We're also going to talk in just a moment about the 100, which is the very poor third cousin of parents who are second cousins to the 1,000. But before we jump onto that, it is a highlight not just of this show, Alan Committie. It is a highlight of the global sporting week, where we find out who Alan's lost legend is. You won't tell us just yet because you're a little cloak and dagger that way, but you'll give us a clue, a little sniff in the right direction. So show us a picture then, Alan. Who is our lost legend this week?
So here he is. It's no Lee Barnard. Now, that's a very old picture, I hear you saying. Grainy black and white footage of this man. Do you recognize him? I doubt you will. The only clue I can give you, and perhaps this is too much of a clue, is that he's in fact not a cricket player, but he was heavily involved in the world of cricket. And what a legend. I've brought you many legends over the last 23 weeks. This might be one of the greatest of them all. A tremendous man, wonderful voice. Look at him there. No Lee Barnard. Do you know who he is? Why not type in with your slightly dirty fingernails, stubby fingers into our chat box and tell us if you think you know who that lost legend might be. Oh, do you know, little Dan? Do you know who that is?
He's somewhere between an extra in Downton Abbey and a serial killer from the 1870s.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. We've got a couple of answers coming in. We will find out just a little later who is correct, who that person is from the very back of the archives of the Allen Committee Cricket Collection. While we wait for that, while we wait for our special guest to dry his eyes and mentally compose himself for his debut on Two Full Tosses, we don't watch the 100, which means we haven't seen any of it, which in particular means we haven't seen this. I actually dug it out. How is this for Quinton de Kock taking a catch in front of, I think this is 7th slip. Let's see if we've got it.
Well, you've got it. You've got Jordan now. Oh, my God! Oh! You can't keep him out of the game! Oh! Quinton de Kock!
Talking about that, imagine it did not go for 6 on this wicket. Pressure would be on, it would be game on, but it's still on. What a catch, Kepi. He thought he got away. Oh my goodness.
That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. You don't see many better catches than that.
No, don't see many better catches. That is Ray Jennings, Jet Jennings like that was.
That was shades of Bob Knott in the years gone by. And three things I loved about that. One was Kevin Peterson doing the impression of a 12-year-old at a One Direction concert. Darren Sammy proving that with a great Caribbean accent, you can make absolutely no sense whatsoever and still sound amazing. Amazing. I got no idea what he said there, but he sounded amazing. And then Quinton de Kock takes this catch where he's covered the better part of an Imran Tahir wicket celebration to take that catch in front of cover point and just not fussed at all. I've just taken the best catch you'll see this year. I'm not bothered. Nah,
the truth is with Quinton de Kock is it's also possible that he didn't know that he's taken the catch and that he will only realize that in weeks to come. And that's also fine. Taste Brits, one of our loyal fans, saying John T. Fuel. I quite like that. A little bit of John T. Fuel, yes.
Oh, he did raw. That was brilliant. Look, in not watching the 100, I have caught quite a bit of it, and it's been lovely to see loads of South Africans play, but also a little disquieting to see so many incredible South Africans not play. And in fact, our special guest tonight is one of those. He should be playing in the 100 because he's a devastating cricketer, and we're going to meet him in just a moment. But before we do that, let's go back to the piece of Egyptology you thrust upon us moments ago, and here we go. It's always a highlight of the week. Who is Alan's lost legend?
He's no Lee Barnard, but he is the sultry-voiced cricket commentator of our youth and the youth of our parents and indeed our grandparents. He is the brilliant, magnificent Charles Fortune.
Ah, Charles.
Right. Gary von Lochrenberg. Well done, you, sir. There he is. That's him towards the end, the lovely little Charles.
Is that Charles Fortune or Gary van Lochrenberg?
It's both, actually, a composite picture provided to us by Google. Now, I've got to tell you two things you wouldn't have known about Charles Fortune. I didn't in doing some reading about him earlier tonight. The one is, back in 1956 and 57 on the England tour of South Africa, he was the first person in the media to measure a batsman's progress in terms of balls faced rather than minutes at the crease, which, of course, subsequently became the way of measuring that standard. Isn't that interesting? He recognized that as being very important. And then this lovely little quote, which he gave at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, and he was talking to some of the media, and he said, others could give a minute-by-minute score, but I felt that it was up to me to try and tempt housewives to listen to cricket so that they could pass on their enthusiasm to their sons. A lovely bit of sexism there from Charles Fortune, as he explained why he would describe pigeons and their mating habits and often forget the vital information around the number of deliveries bowled. But we love him. He's no Lee Barnard. He is the magnificent Charles Fortune.
Fortune, that's a great one. Well played, Alan Committie. So him and Henry Blofeld, and there were a couple I remember from my youth of Zimbabwean radio commentators, where you'd listen enthralled because the commentary was beautiful. You had absolutely no idea what was happening in the cricket, but the commentary was fabulous.
Unbelievable. And in fact, interesting you should say, Henry Blofeld, in some of the reading I said today, they loved working alongside Charles Fortune. They did so on a number of occasions, first on radio and then much later on television. And they were thrilled and delighted to be in each other's company, which thrills and delights me, and no doubt you too. A veritable double act of some brilliance.
Indeed it does. Well, speaking of thrill and delight, our guest tonight specializes in both. He has a first-class average of 62.
What?
He is an extraordinary striker of the cricket ball. He terrifies bowlers. We've only seen a glimpse of him thus far in international cricket, but there is much more to see of him. We are thrilled and delighted to have him on the show tonight, coming to us all the way from Cape Town, where I think it's currently March. A very warm welcome to Kyle Verreynne.
Oh, there it is. Oh, that's a lot of red hair. Whoa!
That is a lot.
Whoa!
Just had my hair shaved. It could have been a lot more.
Welcome to the show. Welcome home. You've just had a bubbly burst in the Caribbean and Ireland. How was the tour, and how difficult was it off the field as much as it was on the field, Kyle?
Yeah, I think firstly, thanks for having me. Yeah, it was a really long tour. Firstly, yeah, I think it was just under 2 months, so that was quite long. But I think, yeah, just getting able to experience some different sort of cultures, even though you can't really leave the hotel, it was really nice. Yeah, I really enjoyed the West Indies. Like I said, you can't really get out, but you just sort of get the feel for what type of people they are and stuff. And yeah, and then Ireland was also really cool. But yeah, off the field, I think it was quite challenging. I think a lot of guys struggled mentally, just from being in the bubble. You're sort of limited in terms of your movements and stuff. It does get quite challenging. But yeah, overall, a really good experience, and grateful that I could be a part of it.
You're one of the younger players, the newer players in the squad, which means, unfortunately, you get some of the jobs that aren't quite so cool. And we do our research. This is a high-end, analytical, and very statistically based cricket show, as you know. And so having made some calls, I understand, Kyle, and you have my sympathy. I'm actually reaching out and giving you a virtual hug of consolation. I believe that one of your jobs as one of the new members of the team at the Bubble, which was, of course, a 17-star golf resort on the beach in the Caribbean, was to gently massage coconut oil into Captain Dean Elgar and the somewhat hirsute and bushy shoulders of our little Portuguese leader.
If that was true, I probably would have asked if I could leave the trip straight away, to be honest with you. No, very fortunate not to have to actually do that job.
Tell me, since you were in the bubble in both those countries, normally I'm sure you would often room with someone. Did you guys all have your own rooms, or were you kind of cooped up with a player over all those months? That would have made it even more difficult, I guess.
I think that would have been really interesting. No, I think obviously due to COVID protocols or whatever it is, we get our own rooms. It's nice at times. You do get a bit lonely, but I think 2 months sharing a room with someone would, not be ideal. So fortunately, we get to stay on our own, which is pretty cool.
If you'd had to, if
Go on.
times were tough and let's say bizarrely there wasn't much money in cricket South Africa, and you had to share a room, who would be the best person? I'll take him. He'll be great. Who'd be the person going, you know what? Actually, I'm going to swim home. I cannot take this. I'm swimming back to Cape Town from Jamaica. I cannot share a room with this person. Just between the three of us, Kyle.
Go on, tell us.
I think that the person that I wouldn't want to share a room with is definitely Buren Hendricks. He's quite a lazy guy. He just sort of gets on with his own business. He loves his PlayStation as well. So you could probably spend hours and hours playing PlayStation. So I'd never get able to sleep. So he's probably the one person I wouldn't want to be with. I think someone that would be quite interesting to be with would probably be Quinny. I think I don't know if it would be good or bad, but I think just experiencing what he sort of does in his free time and stuff would be really interesting to witness. So I think I'd quite enjoy that, to be honest with you. Don't know if it would end up being any good, but definitely something that I'd be willing to try.
I'd be terrific. I mean, he was brilliant on the tour. He bounced back. His cricket was amazing. But even his cricket, Kyle, couldn't touch the quality of his post-match interviews.
I'll be honest with you. I think most of us, when he gets man of the match or man of the series or whatever, and he has to speak, I think most of us get quite excited just so we get to hear what gold he's got for us on that particular occasion.
I think that's true of all the cricketing public around the world.
There's been some, especially I think on this trip this last trip there was some golden moments. So he offers a lot of value, especially in those post-match interviews.
So this extraordinary domestic average that old Dan was throwing out there earlier, and your unbelievable skill, and everyone was calling, get Kyle in the side, get Kyle in the side. Tell us a little bit, what was that step like from domestic to international?
I think firstly, it's obviously I've seen a lot of people saying, no, you need to play. So I think before you even make a debut or you get into the side, you sort of feel a lot of pressure. So that's the first thing that I sort of had to deal with when I did get a call up, making my debut and stuff. I think the first thing that's sort of on my mind is, geez, everyone's been saying you need to get an opportunity. Now you've got it now. Don't want to look like a fool and be rubbish. So you got to deal with that. But in terms of the step up skill wise and stuff, it is quite a jump. I think domestically we've got a lot of skilled cricketers and you get challenged quite well. But I think something that sort of stood out for me was just the intensity, just the level of energy and stuff. I think domestic level, like I said, the skill and stuff, it's really good. But I think you really get tested. Just the intensity, international cricket, you feel like you don't really get a second to sort of relax and take a breather. It's like 100% all the time. So for me, that's sort of the biggest thing that I sort of experienced making this step up.
You got to play the Test series. It was lovely to see you there. We're going to see a lot more of you in Test cricket. And we saw a little bit of you over in Ireland. I'm not so much interested in what happened on the field. What was it like just arriving in Ireland and everybody, the entire Irish public, thinking, oh my God, here's this tanned, bronzed Irish god? Because you look like an Irishman, but you're also the most tanned person who looks like an Irishman who's probably ever existed.
I'll be honest with you. For probably the whole West Indies trip leading up to the island trip, every day someone reminded me that, in a couple of weeks' time, we're going to be going to your homeland. You're going to be seeing your people. It's going to be amazing. And then, to be honest, when we got there, obviously redheads, it's pretty, I don't know, there's quite a lot of them in Ireland as well. And that's literally what the guy said. They said, geez, they've never seen a ginger that's as tanned as me. I mean, like, with all due respect, you're not getting a lot of sun there and stuff. So the guys were amazed. I looked like I'd been sitting in the sun for years. It was actually a joke that was going around for quite a while.
As a newbie in the side, how many people, and you can be honest again with us, because this is a circle of trust, an inner circle, if you will. How many people in the side, in the management, in the bigger entourage, actually pronounce your surname correctly? Does anybody actually get it right? Because we know the commentators never, they don't even come close. So
No, I think with all due respect to the commentator, I think my name's changed probably 50 times over the past couple of years. No, they seem to all have it. I remember sort of for the Cobras as well, now stepping into the national team, the first couple of team meetings, they call your name out and you sort of wait to hear how they're going to say it. But yeah, everyone seems to have got their head around it now, so they're all good.
Has it ever been a case where they call out a name and you're thinking that might be me, but I'm not 100% sure?
No, I think it's such a unique surname that even if they get it completely wrong, you still have a bit of an idea that they're talking about you. So no, fortunately that hasn't happened.
So
Hey,
who was? Sorry,
Alan and I were trying to work this out. Is it really Norwegian?
yeah. Is it?
I must be honest with you. I've been asked a lot to sort of say what nationality it is, and the honest truth is I actually don't know. I really don't know.
In Norwegian it is. Say that.
No, it's the best one I've heard. I'll take that.
It's using all the letters in the alphabet, which is nice, and unnecessarily, if I might add. That's good. Too many N's, there's a Y in there for no reason, an E in the wrong place. Great.
There's a lot of letters you can skip out if you want to. Won't change the pronunciation.
I'm on Wikipedia now, and I didn't even know this, but we know he's Kyle, but actually the two middle names are Ole Gunnar. So we've got that sorted out.
I support Manchester United, so that's I'll take that. I'm happy with that.
Where was Paul Scholes 9 months before you were born?
Yes.
That's a very good question. I've asked my mother the same thing a couple of times, to be honest with you.
On holiday in Pretoria.
Yes, exactly.
For someone with this unbelievably attacking brand of cricket and great skill set, who your influences and idols growing up as you were making your way into the world of cricket? Who tickled your fancy? Other than us, obviously.
No, it's obviously, you two firstly, and then thirdly, I think like anyone sort of my age growing up, at that time, Jacques Kallis was obviously the main sort of South African superstar. So I always looked up to him, and then sort of growing up, as AB de Villiers sort of started making his way into the team, he was sort of the guy that I followed quite a lot and really looked up to. So those are probably the two guys of my sort of childhood and sort of growing up days that I really looked towards, and just really enjoyed watching them do what they do.
Interesting question here from Gary van Lochenberg, the former Boylan scrum half, who uses up his weekly data allocation every Monday to watch us on the show. Why did you choose Wynberg Boys High ahead of Westerford High at the time? Which I think he's saying, why did you choose Jacques Kallis over Alan Committie?
It's a good question. To be honest with you, I was actually sort of chose Rondebosch. I was going to go to Rondebosch. And then, we are probably, I don't know, don't want to say a couple of weeks, maybe a month or so before school started, grade 8. I got the Jacques Kallis scholarship to go to Wynberg, so that's what took me there. So but I'm really happy it turned out the way it did. I loved my time there. I think loved it more than if I had gone to Westerford. So really happy with that decision and how it worked out.
We're now giving out the Farhan Behardin scholarship from Westerford. So again, you can always rethink that. I don't know how your studies. Don't laugh. These are not things to laugh at.
No, this is this. Please, Kyle, please take it seriously. This goes, and Alan and I are part of the selection committee. We help to find the best 12th man in junior cricket, and off we send him to become actually captain and principal of Westerford at the same time. So it's a wonderful way. Nobody's accepted it yet, but it is a wonderful accolade. So far, the career is very young. You've had some extraordinary performances. That first-class double 100. There are still fast bowlers in therapy. We've seen some of your one-day games, just explosive. Often, though, I'm fascinated with this question because we sometimes get the answer we're not expecting. We think this must be your best performance ever, and it turns out, no, it's something completely different. So what is the game you remember, the performance you remember with most fondness?
To be honest, my one-day debut against Australia, that's sort of the one that comes to mind for me. It was at Paarl just before COVID sort of hit. So I was fortunate to have my family and stuff there, which was really special. And then, yeah, I remember, I think I batted 4 that game, 4 or 5, and we were, yeah, I don't want to lie, but I think we were maybe like 30 for 3 or something like that in the power play.
That sounds real. That sounds possible.
Yeah, very
a solid start.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was quite a sort of challenging situation on debut, I suppose. And then, yeah, I think I got 40 odd or something, and sort of,
48.
I remember
missed your 50
48.
by 2. 48.
Yes, I know.
Oh.
I know. I think Classy got 100 in that game as well. We had a good partnership, I think, to sort of get us out of a bit of trouble. And then, yeah, just to win and play in front of a full house at Paul was really special. So that's, yeah, so the game that comes to mind. And I think from a performance-wise as well, it's not the most I've scored, but I think it was definitely one of the harder conditions and one of the more innings that I'm more proud of.
And 3 very good catches in that game, if memory serves.
Yeah, I was a bit on fielding and not having the gloves on. So, yeah, I was just relieved that I didn't drop any, to be honest with you. But yeah, that was quite an enjoyable experience in the field.
I want to ask you about that, because I know, like, for instance, for Alan, it's very weird when he plays cricket because he's on the field. For you, when you are when you're playing and you're not wicketkeeper, is it strange? You don't have the gloves. They hit the ball to you, and actually it's quite sore because you've normally got that lovely big set of mitts on. Is it strange? Does it take a bit of adjusting to?
To be honest, when I first got called up to the Proteas, obviously everyone knows Quinny's number 1. He's going to keep. So I was a little bit nervous because I knew if I play, I'm going to end up in the field. Sort of the first time that I did it. But to be honest with you, it doesn't feel too much different. The only thing I will say is you've got to concentrate a lot harder because when you're standing behind the stumps, you're sort of forced to be switched on every ball. So it's a bit easier to stay in the game. But I think sometimes in the field, you sort of find yourself drifting. There's not much going on where you're fielding at that time. And yeah, the real challenge is just exactly staying switched on. So yeah, that's for me the biggest challenge. But the actual fielding and stuff, surprisingly, no, it's all right.
It all works out. All right, we've got a couple of quizzes to send your way before we kick off the first one. Any last queries there, Mr. Committee?
I guess I want to know what happens between now and T20 World Cup. What are the plans? You're back home, nice little rest after the tour. What lies ahead for you and the team?
Yeah, well, I think it's just been finalized now. We've got a trip to Sri Lanka, I think for 2 or 3 weeks in September. So yeah, just for the rest of August is just about sort of recouping, resting as much as possible, and then just making sure we're ready for that trip. And then, yeah, personally, I don't see myself being involved too much in the T20s and to the World Cup. So not too sure what the plans are after the Sri Lanka trip, but I imagine there'll be a lot of emphasis focused on the T20 guys and their preparation. So yeah, that's sort of the next couple of months for me going forward. Yeah.
Do I need to get Rassie onto a video to keep you in the T20 squad? I mean, I can do that as well. He's got a list of things he's got to make a video about, so you just need to say the word, essentially.
Yeah, I think he got the green light from me. You can go ahead with that.
I'll put him onto it. He's very persuasive.
There will be 5-day test matches you play in, Kyle. It'll be shorter than the video, Rassie Erasmus.
Yes.
All right. Look, we've got the quizzes. A little bit of background on this. It's 5 questions. We have mixed results. I think Dean Elgar got 3 out of 5 last week. We've had some dire performances. I think JP Durmany's got 1 out of 5. Alan Lamb got 1 out of 5. Darren Goff got 4 and Scotty Cyrus got 4. So all a mixed bag. Are you ready for the 2 full tossers big cricket quiz, Carl?
I'm a bit nervous now, but let's go for it.
All right. Specially selected just for you. And this week, every single one is pictorial. We've decided we'll go nice and visual. So I've got 5 cricketers. I'm going to see if you can work out who they are. And you might pick up on something of a theme as these 5 unfold. Let's see if you do notice it. So here we go. Here's your very first. Nice, simple one to start with. Who is that?
Johnny Bairstow. I think I know where this is going.
All right, nice, easy one for you. Let's go back in time a little. Question number 2. Who is this ferocious fast bowler?
Ooh. No, that's it's an Australian.
However did you work it out, Kyle? You child prodigy, you. Other than
I've got no idea.
Outfit. Yeah, surely the half acre of sunscreen gives it away.
Oh no, jeez, I think that's probably before I was born. That kid, when's that from? 1990? I don't know. I don't know.
Late 90s.
A man that both Alan and I remember fondly. That's the great Australian fast bowler, Craig McDermott.
No, I would never have got that.
All right, he was a terrific player, being Australian notwithstanding. Okay, 1 from 2, solid start. Let's go on to number 3. Who is this player? That's a nice easy one.
Martin Guptill.
Martin Guptill. All right. Okay, let's go to question number 4. Who is this, Kyle?
That looks like me in the backyard a couple of years ago. I've got no idea. No idea.
That, believe it or not, is a young Sean Pollock.
I should have just gone with that.
It's the trousers being slightly too tight that should have given it away, really.
I should have had that one.
It's amazing.
All right, you're 2 from 4. This determines a pass or a fail. Your final question here, Kyle. I'd like to know who this is, proudly supporting his beloved Auckland Warriors. Who is this?
Word. No, I'm lost.
Definitely do know.
Last chance, wild guess.
Goes on to play some cricket.
I want to say Richie McCaw. I don't know if that's possible though. I don't know.
Right, it's out the box, just out the wrong box, I'm afraid, because of natural thinking. He's a young Kiwi who went on to play for England, Kyle. Guy by the name
Ben Stokes.
Ben Stokes.
Yes. He's got a lot of hair there. That's why I didn't recognize.
A lot of
hair. Yeah, but an oversized jersey. Oh, there we go. Slight trick question to finish off with. I see a couple of people watching there. Selwyn Eagle, the highly speculative and FBI-monitored businessman out of Cape Town. He was part of the Jacques Cullis Foundation, says Selwyn. Yes. He was indeed. Good to have you watching, Selwyn. And then David Brook, the midlife crisis-struck commercial manager at the Cobras, who's on his 4th CrossFit session of the day. When Craig retired, I was born, makes me feel old.
Exactly. You better believe.
All right. He used to work with me years ago in the media world, did David. Lovely, lovely guy. All right. We'll give you 3. No, 2. Do we give him that last one? I think we'll give you half. We'll give you a half. You need a half. So we'll give you 2.5 out of 5.
50%. That's a good job.
That's very Weinberg. 50% is very Weinberg, boys.
Well, it's double the South African matric pass rate. So I think you're okay.
Oh, exactly.
All right, so you get the sensible stuff from me, Kyle. You get the nonsensical from my co-host. I've got no idea what to come up with. And I'm a bit worried because, as you can see from the beard and the look it gives him, he's actually starring in a Steve Hofmeyr biopic that's coming out later this year, which is slightly disconcerting, but we forgive him for it because we love him dearly. Alan, Committie, over to you.
Right, Kyle. I want you now to just stop thinking. I want you to imagine you're Herschel Gibbs. And what we're going to do now is we're just going to do quick fire questions. No thinking. You just give the answer instinctively, as I know you're an instinctive player. That should be easy, right up your alley. And not that we're talking alley. So for you, bar one or Kit Kat, nice, easy one. Go for it.
Kit Kat.
Kit Kat, quite right. To breaststroke or a backstroke?
Backstroke.
I'm sure. I don't know if we're talking about the same thing, but I like it. All right. Who had the better beard, Hashim Amla or Moeen Ali?
Hash.
Not even a question, sir. Well done. Who was the better wicketkeeper, Gilchrist or Sangakkara?
Gilchrist.
Ooh, controversial. Ooh, okay. I like it. A straight drive or a drive through mid-wicket? An on-drive
Straight drive.
for
Straight
you.
drive.
Or a one-handed catch, much like we saw Quinny take moments ago, or a run out from a point with only one stump to aim at.
Run out from point.
That's it. Spectacular. Want to go for the spectacle? I like it. Coming up, a big series starts. Who's going to win, England or India?
England.
Oh, God. Just suddenly got very...
Yes.
turned a little bit.
End of our
That's right. Cricket commentators, who's better, Nasser Hussain or Mike Atherton?
Nasser Hussain.
Yes, sir. I agree. I agree with you.
No.
Yes,
What's
yes,
wrong?
Dad.
They're pretty on par, though,
wrong.
to be honest.
It is close. It's very close, but it's
It's a very
national.
close one.
Not close at all. It's brilliant. Insane
Why don't
rubbish.
you get your own quiz? Oh, you've got your own quiz. Now stay with your own quiz. All right. Deschambro or Brooks Koepka?
Whoa, Koepka.
Ooh, yes, very good. Okay, and then finally, this is a tricky one. If you had to choose, biting another player or kicking them illegally?
Kicking them illegally, definitely.
But both not
wanna
sight. Isn't that
Don't want to be
wonderful?
weird.
Well done, sir. Like your answers, like you. Good man.
Oh, brilliant. Nicely done there, Mr. Committee. Carl, just before we let you go, we know that there is much to look forward to this year. You got the T20s. Where do you see the main direction? Is this Kyle the one-dayer, Kyle the T20er, Kyle the test player, or is it going to be possible in this crazy cricketing schedule to try and somehow string all three of them together?
Honest answer is I'd love to end up being an all-format player. That's obviously the goal. That's what I want to do. That's what I'm working towards. But yeah, it is quite a difficult ask. I think at the moment, I believe I'm a purist, and for me, Test cricket is the ultimate. So at the moment, I want to put as much focus as I can on the longer format. 50 overs is quite important to me. Obviously, my goal is the 2023 World Cup. So, 50 overs and red ball stuff at the moment. But with a long-term goal of hopefully one day being involved in all three.
And the 1,000.
I was going to say,
yeah.
We've got a new player for the 1,000. I can see Kyle just going out, just dead batting the first 200 deliveries, getting your 8 not out after 261 balls. I can see you doing this. This is your future.
That'll be a bit challenging, but why not?
Dear Kyle, it's an absolute delight to have you on the show, as it is an absolute delight to watch you play cricket in any format, particularly the 1,000. Enjoy the break, enjoy the rest, enjoy the cricket that comes up. I hope we see a bit of you in the T20s, because I think you'd be a very valuable asset, but also that World Cup. And of course, what is there not to look forward to as a South African for a Cricket World Cup? Because they always go so well. Kyle, thank you so much for being part of the show. Enjoy the rest of the evening, and we look forward to having you back on soon. Much appreciated.
Cool. Thanks for having me. Cheers.
Cheers.
There we go.
Who knew a ginger could be so lovely?
Oh, he's fabulous. Absolutely fab. And what a cricketer. And what I love about him, and he reminds me in some ways of Faf du Plessis, in that he has the ability, because I've seen him do it, he can go and set up an end and just bore you to death if he needs to. And 3 days later, he's playing in a T20 game and he's scoring 600 off 9 balls and causing absolute havoc. And that is a multi-talented cricketer.
Multi-dimensional, I think, is the phrase you're looking for, sir. A tremendous talent. We love him. Well done, him. Now, listen, quick question here from Taste Brits. Where is Johan van der Walt? Johan van der Walt, of course, is undergoing some massive dental work at the moment. As you know, his teeth are so big, he doesn't use dental floss. He uses a skipping rope. And they're actually getting a construction company in. They're doing some work on him. He will return, much like a vaunted James Bond. He will be back, 003.5. But when that will be, one cannot tell right now. In the meantime, this beard is in lieu of Johan van der Walt, a magnificent beard.
And there we go. We have Alistair Dermody, Gingers Rock, Alan Committie. They certainly do. I see a little earlier, our Greek Test cricket specialist, Michel Kavarnos. saying, yay, cricket, K, bye. As usual, we've got no idea what she's on about, but it's always nice to have 12-year-olds watching the show. Right, a big thank you to David Brooke, the head of CrossFit and commercial management and cool stuff at the Cobras, for assisting with this evening's show. And a big thank you to Kyle Verreynne, for a wonderful guest and our very favorite ginger on Two Full Tosses, which holds us off. We are going to be taking a break of next week. I think we're probably back next week, but we will confirm that in the next day or two via fax. So sit next to your machine. But we've got a lot of very exciting stuff planned for the summer, and we cannot wait to have all of you along for the ride. So big thank you to everybody. Alan, thank you. Sparkling form as always tonight. And do we see you anywhere? Are you on stage? Are you performing? Are you at a traffic light?
Not for the moment. In rehearsals, a little bit of TV work coming up as well, which is unusual and interesting for me. Looking forward to that. But Joburg, Monte Casino, looks like October is the dates for Poker Laughs now. So a couple of months still to go, but something to start looking forward to. I'll keep you guys posted. And if indeed we aren't here next week, then when we do come back, as you say, for what is effectively our season 2, Dan, a season 2.
We've been renewed.
We've been renewed by ourselves. What a tremendous coup that is. And I think is that the time to bring Kevin Peterson? I suppose that is the question all the listeners and viewers have been asking. I don't think so, but
8 WhatsApps from KP. I'm looking at my phone now. 8 WhatsApps since the show started, trying to get on. But listen, he's not bad, but he's no Lee Barnard.
That's true.
All right, wrapping us up there. Taste Brits, shout out to our Proteas ladies too, rocking the 100. They certainly are, except we don't watch the 100 and we never will, so we wouldn't know. To Taste, to everybody else who's been watching, thank you very much. We'll see you back again soon. From myself, Dan Nicholl, and from Alan Committie, Two Full Tosses, proudly presented by The 1000, the new cricket show that's set to rock the cricket world, or at least put it gently to sleep. Goodbye.